Rochelle LeCavalier. Welcome to Boca 360. So Curt Huegel, president and founder of Host Restaurant Group, right here in Delray Beach, Florida. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Excited to be here.
So this is not exactly your first restaurant in South Florida, but it is your first restaurant in the Delray Beach area.
It is. Previously, I did some work in Miami. We had some restaurants in a couple of hotels in Miami, but this is my first restaurant in Palm County.
Yes. Palm Beach County, Delray Beach, Florida.
Yes.
This is your very first venture. Now, way back in the day, rumor has it that you owned Rebar in Miami. Is that true?
I did. I did. A long time ago.
Fantastic.
Another lifetime ago.
Another lifetime ago. And for our friends who aren't familiar maybe with Host Restaurant Group, I mean, this is quite the outfit. Can you share with us, like, what's on the roster, like in New York City?
So, Host has been, I guess this is the 8th year of it. And it's more of a collection of different places as much as it is a restaurant company. It's not case specific. We have a steakhouse in New York. We have a white tablecloth Italian restaurant. We have some bars. We have an Italian cafe. So it's a pretty eclectic mix of places that I would frequent.
Okay.
Of my restaurants, of my places.
So that's kind of like a common thread. Like, is this a place I would go? That's a great litmus test.
It is for me. I mean, I have no problem not only seeing myself in all of my places, but actually spending time in all of my places.
So it seems that to open Avalon Steak and Seafood in Delray Beach right now at this particular time in history just seems like a super genius move.
Yeah, or a lucky one. I was looking in the area right about the time when we were about to go into shutdown. So I probably had, I don't know, a month or 2 month head start on everybody else that's looking to come down here.
Okay, so this has been in the works for quite some time then.
Yeah, I've been looking to do something in this area for the last 5 or 6 years, and very seriously for the past 2 years.
Okay, so happy coincidence, because we do have an influx of people from New York who are really looking for some familiar dining options, and we are starting to see an influx like La Goulie in Palm Beach and St. Ambrose and some others that people are familiar with. We're starting to see them crop up.
Yes, and you're going to see a lot more. Everybody that I talk to in New York is looking for space down here. I'm looking for more space down here. You know, the question that I've been asked before is, why this area, why South Florida? And the answer to that is, why not? Like, of course you would want to be coming down here. With the way that the demographics are changing, it's a natural fit to be looking to move down here.
I mean, a lot of people would describe South Florida, Southeast Florida in particular, as the 6th borough.
I would say so too, but it's not only is it the 6th borough, but it's also New Jersey, it's Connecticut, it's a lot of the Northeast. And it's interesting for me, every day that I leave here and I walk around, just around this neighborhood in Delray, I have never walked out and not run into somebody from up north.
Isn't that wild?
It's pretty interesting.
We're all in the same spot. So was there any method to your madness in choosing, Atlantic Avenue and Delray Beach specifically?
So we were looking for a while in Palm Beach County, and we hadn't looked specifically in Delray. My partner Antonello had called me and wanted me to come down and meet him here. And from the time that I parked my car to got halfway across Atlantic Avenue, I realized that it was a special stretch of restaurant row.
I think that's absolutely true. I mean, it's like walkable, there's nightlife. It's really unique to Palm Beach County in that way.
And there's something for everyone. I looked around and I saw 25 to 75, all commingling, all going in and out of the same places. And that, that conviviality is what lends to, a very energetic street like we have here.
100% agree. So Avalon Steak and Seafood. Tell me a little about, I mean, obviously the name is pretty descriptive, right? But tell me about the concept beyond just the name.
So the idea and the concept came from wanting to do a steak and seafood concept, but wanting to do it with a beachier theme, a more approachable, easier, laid back design from a design standpoint. And so, excuse me, in New York, steakhouses are heavy and dark.
That's true.
And our idea was that we wanted to, the thought was, if you went to a nice seaside resort and they had a steak and seafood restaurant, what would you think that it would look like? And this is what we thought that it would look like.
Well executed. I had the privilege to dine here a couple of nights ago, and it was outstanding. I mean, every item we're a bunch of ladies who came to dinner, girls' night out. And
you guys ate pretty good.
Yeah, we really did eat well. As a matter of fact, the filet I had the other night was delicious. And that you did a roasted garlic, the whole bulb is roasted. I literally smeared that everywhere on my plate. It was delicious.
That's what it's there for.
The seafood's also really good, though, because sometimes a steak place, it's only the steak. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had, you said we ate a lot. We really did, friends. We really had a lot of food. We had the octopus, the angry lobster, the scallops. Those are the things that immediately come to mind, but and I love octopus, and sometimes it's not so yummy.
Octopus is an interesting dish to cook. It's got to be cooked the right way. And as you and I were talking about, the idea of this restaurant was a steak and seafood restaurant, right? That's why it's Avalon Steak and Seafood. There's as much emphasis on the seafood dishes here as there is on the steak. We have a whole fish. We have a crudo section that I haven't seen in too many other steakhouses before. Our signature appetizers and angry lobster. So it truly is a steak and seafood restaurant.
Truly is, though. I mean, a lot of times you hear it's a steak and seafood restaurant, and that means salmon and shrimp cocktail and steaks, right? But this is like legitimate, delicious seafood.
Yes, and that's the goal. Sourcing our seafood from local boats as much as we possibly can has been the inspiration for the dishes that we have at the opening right now.
Makes a huge difference. So in terms of trends and what you see upcoming, is there anything that you see new on the horizon that we can look forward to seeing?
I mean, there's so many trends right now in dining. Not too long ago, it was about having to have vegetarian dishes on your menu. Now it's trending towards vegan dishes. So as you're evolving as a restaurant, especially as a new restaurant, you have to keep all of those things in mind. We've done that here, and I think that you'll start to see those specific restaurants start to open. Not that they're not here now, but start to see more of them opening, in the area. I think that the influx has just started because, like before with 9/11 or the financial crisis, I think that this is a real shift. Yes. I don't think it's going to be a snapback in the way that those things did. I think this has created people to try an experiment that everybody was a little bit hesitant to try, and everybody was forced to try this experiment, and for a lot of businesses it worked. Virtual worked for a lot of businesses.
That's true.
So I think that this is, not to overuse that new normal thing, but the world has changed in the last 12 months.
Absolutely true. And particularly we're seeing so many people from the Northeast. Actually, now we're seeing Californians come over. We're seeing people really gravitating to Florida. There's just this perfect storm, as they say, right? There's like a tax situation. There's some political situations. There's COVID. There's business climate.
There's the sun.
Aha, that is true. The Sunshine State. It never goes out of style.
And again, a lot of the things that you hear in New York are, if you can go, why wouldn't you go?
Sure, like why would you?
Right. And I live somewhat torn, right? I love New York City. I have 8 restaurants in New York City. I lived in New York City for 25 years. Now I live right outside of New York City. My offices are in the city. So for me, being in there and being in the city, I've been in every day since we closed down, since the middle of March, and seeing the rest. New York City's resilient, and it will change. And I think both places, in the end of the day, will be better for this social experiment that we're in the middle of right now.
I think that's probably true. So it's been a while since we've had a new steakhouse and anything sort of formal on the Ave. A lot of the dining options tend to be, you know, great and fun, but a little more on the casual side. How has the reception been so far to something that's maybe a little more formal and elevated?
The reception has been overwhelming. The restaurant has really seemed to resonate to the people that are here at the right time, where there's that great cross-section of the Floridians that are here and the Northeasterners that are coming down here. You know, it's always a great sign when I walk in through the front door at 9 o'clock in the morning and I can't finish my phone call because the phones keep ringing.
Yeah.
So the reception has been great. People have enjoyed it so far. And for us, it's been a great start.
Yes. I think a lot of people have been waiting for something just like this. Like a lot of my friends say, we'd like to dress for dinner, right? And so this is a place where you could dress for dinner and come and have a really nice experience. I would say it's been, I don't know, at least 10 years since we've had a new like steak restaurant concept come online in this area. You know, the Ave tends to be really kind of casual. A lot of my girlfriends are like, we want to dress for dinner. And this place seems a little more formal, dare I say elevated. And I think it's a place where you could kind of get gussied up and have an evening out. What's the reception been from people coming in the door?
And that's kind of been the pocket that we identified here as well. And from that, we wanted to provide an elevated dining experience in a well-designed, high-designed, but approachable environment. And I think that we were able to get there on both sides.
I'd say you hit the nail on the head. Thank you. Really well executed. I look forward to coming back many, many times.
Well, we look forward to having you.
Thank you again. Thanks again for joining us for this episode of Boca 360, where I got to speak with Curt Huegel, president and founder of Host Restaurant Group, and the guy who brought us Avalon Steak and Seafood right here in Delray Beach, Florida. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rochelle LeCavalier, bringing you the very best of luxury real estate. See you next time. Thanks for watching my show. If you like what you saw, I hope you'll consider subscribing. And hit that like button, it would mean a lot to me personally. If there's something specific you'd like to see, leave a note down in the comments for me. I'd be really interested to know what you think. If you'd like to see more, take a look at some of these other videos. See you next time.